Hi, and welcome back. We're here on the Senior Network, and we were discussing hospice. And Debbie, I'm curious as far as, because I know that's a sensitive time when people are starting to look at that, give us some ideas of what we should be looking for maybe when we're interviewing hospice companies to make a decision.
Well, I think what you said just right there is that you do have a choice. You do have a choice in your healthcare provider, your hospice provider, and I think it's great for families to interview maybe a couple. Probably not any more than that, because it can be kind of overwhelming, because it is a very sensitive time. So, but interview, you do have your choice between you're a for-profit or not-for-profit. Okay. We are a not-for-profit, which means that we can fundraise, and all those funds go back to our families and our services. And but interviewing, I would definitely, you have options for your care.
And some of the things that we're looking for is the support. Meaning, do you have social workers or chaplains?
We do. We have a great team, and it is a team. It's not just the nurse coming out to assess and symptomate. It is a team. It's a chaplain, social worker, volunteers, speech therapy, physical therapy, music therapy, pet peace of mind.
Oh wow! So
there's probably more that I forgot, but we do have a lot of and chaplain. But interviewing, you want to know what the response time is when you call after hours, and what is the response time? How quickly do we get a response back from the nurse when we call after 5 or on the weekends?
And you're a
or
weekend
in the middle
nurse
of
yourself,
the night.
so you know that, right?
Exactly. Because if they're waiting for you to call back, that 5 minutes, 3 minutes seems like an eternity to them. So that's one of the questions. And can you admit, if you're ready to start services, can you admit after 5 because the person works during the day, or on the weekends? Absolutely.
Yeah, and it is. You said it. Choice it is with all of our services, and I know Jim probably same with you. I mean, people have choices when they reach out to you.
They do, and one of the things, like Debbie was talking about, it doesn't hurt anybody to interview. And I tell everybody, I interview other funeral homes. I'm confident in what I do, and I might have a veterans display. You can't see it on camera, but like you were talking about veterans, we stay really, really proactive with trying to do some nice things for veterans. My son was in Afghanistan, my dad was in Vietnam, and we just try to help the veterans any way we can too. So, checking those things. Families who have used you before are the best reference. Unfortunately, we're in the type of business where someone has to have used hospice or a funeral home. That means that it hasn't always been at the best time of their lives, but we hope that they get a really positive experience from it.
Right. Well, this is a gorgeous place, by the way, and it made me think about viewings in general. That's a cultural thing, right? There's a lot of, some people like viewing, some people don't. Right?
And it's changed. It's changed over the last 26 years. When I got into the business, it was about an 8 or 9% nationwide cremation rate. Now we're over 50. Hilton Head is about 85%. So you can still have you can still cremate and have a viewing if you like. That's something people don't really understand, that you can do that.
Sure.
You don't necessarily have to still spend a bunch of money on a funeral service, but if you want to have a viewing, have some people come in if they're from out of town, we can certainly do that.
And I can imagine, that's a great point. I can imagine, because I think that I see it as that viewing, be it cremation or whatever, that's kind of part of the grieving process and so forth with the families, right? That's getting through that.
And a lot of times, though, the thing is with hospice, a lot of times the family is able to be there at the final moments that hospice has helped them guide through and work them through a little bit. So maybe they don't need the closure of having an embalmed body in a casket. Maybe they're okay without that. And but that's all the time. That's up to the individual families and whatever they want, and culturally too, and economically.
Sure.
And socio-politically, everything that ties into it. It's all changed in the last 20 years.
Right. A lot of things have changed. Well, Debbie, how long have you been with Hospice Care of Lowcountry?
I'm pretty sure. I think it'll be 21 years in
Amazing.
October.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and we have a lot of longevity in our team as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you work
Yeah,
with the
it's-
volunteers? Because I know you have a large volunteer organization.
We do. We have a large number of volunteers, and we offer our volunteers for our patients' families for respite, companionship. Taking the dog for a walk.
Sure.
But we do. All of the nurses and all the entire staff
Right.
works with our volunteers.
Well, you got a great organization.
We do.
And
we
so do you,
really
Jim.
do.
Glad to have both of you.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
but we are out of time.
Okay.
We're going to need to take a quick break. Thank you.
Thanks.